I've concluded a few episodes of our podcast by asking this question after my guests and I have discussed the science around some of these things. But I'm going to open the episode by asking you the same question. Whatever we talk about today, whatever we discuss, why would I not just go onto your Instagram page, see this 57-year-old woman kicking ass, doing cartwheels in her swimsuit on the beach every day, getting full sun, enjoying life, super happy? Why would I not just look at that and say, I don't care what this person's doing, I'm going to do this because this looks amazing?
Yeah, and part of it is cognitive dissonance, because when I tell people, especially me as an eye doctor now, because this is really interesting, I've been an eye doctor for 30 years, and way back prior to me coming into this whole biohacking world and finding this whole amazing way of eating, I was doing what is typically done as an eye doctor. Well, wear sunglasses to protect your eyes from cataracts and macular degeneration. And now it's the exact opposite. We need sunlight into our eyes. We need the photons in for a huge amount of things, not just for vision. We need no glasses, no contacts, and the sun to get in our eyes, especially a little bit in the morning and a little bit at sunset, because it sets our circadian rhythm for benefits for sleep. But more than that, there's photoreceptors in our eye that are directly linked to the brain. They're not all vision cells and vision nerve. All the ganglions in there are not just rods and cones for vision. It's so important. Man was meant to, I guess, come out of the cave, and we were outside dwellers. We weren't in an office. We weren't in a school. We weren't in a home all day, every day, like most people are. So, to now feel like I'm, and actually it's interesting because sometimes I like to poke the dragon a little bit. And because I follow a couple optometric physician, eye doctor, Instagram accounts, like there's this guy, I forget his name now. But he's real big into, he's got like a nice production, and I'm sure he's got videographers and everybody helping him. And he's really popular on YouTube. But I just had to poke the dragon. He recently put on there these great sunglasses that were, they're not mirrored, they're matte and this and that, and, protect from macular degeneration, all that. And I had to go in there and poke away and just say, have you looked at a lot of research that actually shows we should not be blocking that radiation from coming in our eyes? It's actually natural, normal, and healthy. And I know I'm probably going to blow away people who are listening to this now with like, what is she saying? My eye doctor tells me every time and sells me my sunglasses and says I got to protect my eyes. And I say, it's the inflammation from garbage that we eat that is what's causing disease processes like cataracts, macular degeneration, diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer's, anxiety, depression, arthritis, high blood pressure, cancer, stroke, you name it. It's an inflammatory response from unnatural foods that we're putting into our bodies. So the cataracts and the macular degeneration are coming from having seed oils and inflammatory processes in our body, not from natural sunlight.
Yeah, that's right. No, we were fortunate enough to host Dr. Chris Kenobi on our show. He's also an expert in macular degeneration. And just, I know he's the best. He got so fired up about this topic when he first started learning about it that he quit his job and he learned how to do public speaking so that he could go out and talk about this. And he's a fantastic public speaker. And when he starts ripping off the numbers of seed oils and what they can do to our bodies, it's absolutely horrifying. And you're right about the sunglasses. Like, I use sunglasses when I ride my bike, and I use them for eye protection when I edge my lawn. And I lament the fact that I've got a great collection of sunglasses that I love. I love them, and I never ever wear them because you're right. It's so much better. Get the light. You need the light.
I love sunglasses. I really do. And I have quite a collection because, I work at this place that's got a really cool selection of Maui Jims and Costas. And oh my gosh, there's others that I'm like a sunglass addict. But here's the thing. I wear them when I'm in my car because the windshield blocks that good light anyway. So I might as well have my eyes protected from the glare off the trunk of the car, off the road. It's totally fine there. It's totally fine. If I'm on the beach for hours and it's coming off the sand or coming off the water, if I'm on a boat, this is not silly stuff here. It's fine to protect your eyes. Or in a situation like you said, bike riding, protecting from, mechanical trauma. That's all good. So we still need, Casey, we still need our sunglasses, but not all day, every day.
Yeah, good call. Maybe I'll use them for like photo ops or something. I really love them.
Yeah, that's one of the it's funny because like there's only a couple benefits now of sunglasses, and one is to look cool. The
Yeah,
other
that's right.
women, how you put them up and it pulls your
Oh
hair back.
yeah. You'd have that issue a lot more than I would, I think.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about your history with the carnivore diet. I'd love to know kind of what health issues you were experiencing and how you even found a carnivore diet to begin with and what that experience was like.
Yeah, so this is such a, it used to be such a difficult thing for me to talk about because carb and sugar addiction and eating disorders are such secretive behaviors. And it's embarrassing to admit that I was out of control. I could not control my addiction. And it made me really seriously think about this once I finally, because I suffered for about 30 years. And as far as other health issues, this is from the time I was, 14 to 44 when I found carnivore at 44, right? But from pretty much 14 to 44, I suffered, and I had issues. I had, acne that totally cleared up and went away like within 2 weeks. And it was such a strong indication that basically grains and sugar were so toxic to our skin. What else? And I had that, I had 2 kids. I had that post baby weight that I didn't want to get off, that I wanted to get off, and was not able to control with my eating disorder because I was still in that then. I just started going crazy because I thought, I'm going to kill myself. I am literally going to kill myself with what I'm doing. And I hunted, I tried so many different things. Everybody's been through all the diets. And, for somebody with carb addiction, sugar addiction, the more you diet, the more you end up just falling back down in the ditch because you're just driven because we've become programmed with whatever it is, stress, anxiety, anger, boredom. We turn to that comfort, whatever the comfort is for somebody, whether it's alcohol or pot or gambling or food. We have these mechanisms to relieve the stress. And people don't realize that sugar is one of the most addicting substances out there. It's such a widely abused legal drug. When I say drug, I'm talking about drug. And if anybody's out there listening and is not believing that you can actually be addicted to this stuff, trust me, it is an actual addiction. And, if it was so easy to stop and it wasn't addiction, then everybody would eat it and everybody have a lean, healthy, muscular body because we wouldn't eat that crap because we all know it's not good for us, right? There's no question that, French fries and ice cream and cookies and chocolate is not they're not health foods, right? And if we could give them up so easily, we just would. We'd say, oh, that's not good for me. I'm not going to eat it. I mean, if you tell me kale's not good for me, it's very easy to not buy kale and not eat kale. I'm not getting in my car once I clean my house of kale to go buy more kale. Okay. So, and I know I have a really good friend, and I've known her and through these 13 and a half years. I actually met her on that original forum, and I know I go off on these tangents, but I'll get back into how I found this thing. But I just want to bring it up just because I'm talking about the strength of this addiction. She, in her life, she's about my age, she's a touch younger, but she was an alcoholic, a drug addict, a cigarette smoker, and a bulimic. Okay. She gave up the alcohol, the drugs. She quit smoking. She said, by far, of those 4 addictions that she had, the food was by far the most difficult. Wow. So think of that, how, when you think like, well, you can't be addicted. Well, take it from somebody who's had all those addictions and given them all up. to give the answer to that. And part of the problem is it's so ubiquitous. It's everywhere. You're at work and you're in the back, kitchen area, the break room, and somebody baked something, somebody brought something in, and everybody's got we're ordering out. It's junk and more junk, and it's in front of you. You're at a party. It's junk. It's not food. This stuff is not food. And then I say it's, if you were an alcoholic who's a recovered, sober alcoholic, it would be like putting them behind the bar, and that's their job every day. You be a bartender, okay? Because that's what it's like for people who realize that abstinence is the answer. There's no moderation. I always say, I can't eat half a cupcake. There's no such thing, okay? So I can't moderate it. When you're addicted, it's like selling an alcoholic. You know what? You can have one shot of vodka every weekend, one shot, okay? Go ahead and moderate that.